welcome back. I am back talking about paranormal events in the Shoalhaven, witness accounts. And today I'm going to be doing a couple of spiritual sightings as well as a possible UFO sighting. I will emphasize the possible. Could be something to do with meteorology or something, I'm not really sure. But I will start with the spirit of bamarang. Every time I hear bamarang, I think of the Skrillex song, Bamarang. Yeah. So, Bamarang Nature Reserve specifically. I have two different witness reports about this, and back in the 1800s, it was actually featured in a couple of different newspapers. This specific spirit terrorized the fuck out of a family and their dog. I'll put that in. And their dog. Yes! Terrorizes a dog. But he was a restless spirit, and his mutilated, murdered body was actually found after he terrorized this family. So, you know, all for good reason. Yeah, I can't wait to be one of those, like, ooh, stereotypical, like, ooh, ghosts. So, the bamarang spirit. So the first witness count is actually from a 17-year-old girl who was waiting at the nature reserve for her boyfriend when she heard heavy kind of dragging footsteps, and yeah, she kind of got freaked out, so she started to run, and as she looked back, she actually saw a short, stocky man in stockman's clothes carrying an axe. And this is exactly how the description of this spirit that terrorized the family described it. So, back in 1874, there was an article printed in the Shoalhaven News, the Empire and the Queanbeyan Age, that a spirit had haunted the Williams family at their home in Bamarang. Bamarang, Bamarang! Reportedly laying on Robert Williams and terrifying his dog and family for some time. The dog was absolutely freaking terrified, right? It actually wasn't, like, able to function properly afterwards. Before that, it was a really, really attentive guard dog. So, the mutilated remains of George Wood were actually found after this. And yeah, it is believed to be George Wood. So many people have actually, while at Bamarang Nature Reserve and even around Bamarang, the streets of Bamarang, have actually reportedly seen this short, heavy-set man in stockman's clothes and have heard the heavy footsteps. So he's there. Still restless, doesn't want to leave. He's doing the dance, bamarang. So yeah, the next one, possible UFO, Kalala Beach. I lived out at Kalala Beach. There's shit there. So this is on Greenway Road, Kalala Beach. So there was 4 witnesses, and they were actually in a holiday house, which was a couple of doors down from me, and they were on the balcony, and it was about 10 o'clock at night. They were looking out over the beach, and they observed a couple of little lights in the sky, and these lights were dancing around sporadically, not like an aircraft does. They started to get a bit uneasy, felt like they should go inside, so 3 of them went inside, 1 of them stayed out, and the 3 that went inside described it as not a sound, but a vibration, like a which could possibly be put down as an earth tremor or something like that, and the lights possibly like ball lightning or whatever they call it, but both of those 2 things to happen together and for nothing to be reported from the meteorology department. I mean, come on, we're a naval town. Yeah, it's a bit, yeah, it would normally, we'd know about it, but anyways, the one that stayed out was out there for about 15 minutes or something, and this continued the whole time while they were out there. When they came back in, they were asked by the other 3 what happened, and they couldn't answer. They didn't remember. Kalala. La la. So possible UFO, possible meteorology phenomenon. Who knows? And moving on, I need to, before I actually continue, and I should do this at the start of every single one, and I will actually make an effort to do it. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land, specifically this country that I live on, which is Yuin Nation. Thank you for having me. This always has been and always will be Aboriginal land. So, thank you for having me. So yeah, this next one is actually Sunken Forest, Yarrunga Creek, and Kangaroo River walking track, which I believe has quite a few sacred significant sites. Now, this is really, really messed up, but back in 1973, the Shoalhaven hydroelectric scheme decided to intentionally flood the area. So it's actually located in Moreton National Park, and yeah, intentionally flooded. It flows through Fitzroy Falls Reservoir into Lake Yarrunga and into Kangaroo River. It can be accessed by canoe, and there are plenty of opportunities actually to pull up in your canoe and go on the walking trails. Now, on one of these walking trails is a big rock that actually has the names carved into it of the convicts that died, sadly, building the remains of the sandstone road that you can actually see on those walking tracks. And there were quite a few of them, and they were really, really mistreated and died terrible deaths. So the witness that I'm going to talk about, 24 years, and she actually had 2 other people with her, didn't get their ages. They actually heard a group of men talking, English men, talking, and they believed that it was the voices of these convicts, and quite possible because you get the feeling in the area of the fact there is a lot going on. And like I said, there are sacred sites, there's significant sites there, so there is a really strong feeling in parts of there that you shouldn't be there and really don't go there. In a way, them flooding the area has probably kept people out, but also it's also kept the people out that should be able to access it. So yeah, there is a really, really strong feeling there of the traditional custodians that have passed. There is also that strong feeling of the convicts that passed away as well. So it's intense. There's a lot going on there. It is beautiful, but whether you go there or not. So I will leave it at that. I was going to talk about Haunted Point Loop Trail, but I will leave that, and I will do a whole bundle on. There's a lot there. So don't come to Nara.